You don't wake up one day and decide to turn your body into a story. It usually begins quietly, almost imperceptibly. A symbol you like, a memory you want to keep, a feeling you refuse to let fade. On the surface, it looks like expression, maybe even art, but psychologically, it often runs far deeper. Because when someone keeps adding chapters to their skin, there's a silent question that lives beneath the surface. What happens when your body becomes the place you store meaning? Not because anyone asked you to, not because you want attention, not even because you're impulsive, but because something inside you refuses to disappear. And if you've ever felt the pull, the need to mark, to fix, to anchor something permanently, this might feel uncomfortably familiar. Because this isn't really about tattoos. It's about why some people need their identity to be visible, and what that visibility quietly costs over time. There's a reason this urge often appears after change, after loss, after transformation, after surviving something that split your life into before and after. Psychologically, our minds struggle with endings that don't feel acknowledged. Memories fade, people move on, but the nervous system doesn't. It remembers everything. So, the body becomes the witness. Not dramatically, not consciously, just subtly. A tattoo is never just ink. It is a bookmark, a timestamp, a fragment of memory pressed into flesh. Research in autobiographical memory shows that physical cues help us retain emotional experiences more vividly. Some people's skin becomes that cue. It's grounding at first. A tattoo can feel like a quiet reassurance. This mattered. This existed. I survived. But that reassurance is fragile. The first quiet shift comes when meaning moves from inside you to the surface of your skin. Expression starts to replace integration. Instead of letting an experience settle, you externalize it. You carve it, outline it, make it permanent. And it works for a while, until you notice something strange. One tattoo no longer feels enough, not because you're addicted to ink, but because the relief fades faster than expected. So another chapter is added, and another. This is where the second loss begins, the loss of identity flexibility. Each mark freezes a version of you in time, who you were when that pain hit, who you were when you survived, who you were when that moment felt pivotal. Over time, the story stops being something you carry, it becomes something you wear. Psychologically, identity is meant to be fluid, but visible markers make it solid. They anchor a past self to the present. You don't just remember who you were, you see it every day. And slowly, you start shaping your present self around a past self that once needed permanence. There's comfort in that, a strange reassurance, because change can feel risky when your body is constantly reminding you of what you used to be. This isn't a flaw, it's an adaptation. When life accelerates too fast, the mind looks for ways to slow it down, and your skin becomes the canvas for that pause. But here's the part most people don't talk about. When your body holds your story, growth can feel like betrayal. Outgrowing a belief is like erasing a symbol. Letting go of a past self feels like disrespecting the pain that shaped you. So instead of moving freely, you orbit what has already been written. And that leads to the third, quiet loss, the loss of emotional freedom. At some point, the story stops being something you honor and starts being something you defend. You explain it, you justify it, you make sure people understand what it means. Not for them, but for you. Because for many people, tattoos aren't about being seen by others. They are about being seen by themselves. A way of saying, I existed, this happened, I mattered. Studies on identity expression show that permanent marks like tattoos can strengthen the sense of self in people who feel invisible or overlooked. There's even research linking tattooing to trauma survivors, seeking a tangible witness to their experience. The body becomes proof. This is Clarity Quest, a place to slow down and look inward, not to judge, but to understand what shaped us. And here's the subtle, transformative insight. This behavior isn't about rebellion. It isn't about art. It's about narrative ownership. When life didn't give you a clear story, you wrote one yourself, on the one thing that felt fully yours, your body. And now there's a choice. You can honor your story without freezing it. You can remember without engraving. You can let meaning live inside you, not just on you. Because identity doesn't need permanence to be real. It needs permission to evolve. It needs room to breathe. And sometimes understanding that allows the first quiet freedom. You can look at your own marks, your own chapters, and see them for what they are: evidence of survival, resilience, and transformation. Not instructions, not limitations, but proof. And if this resonated, here's a question worth carrying forward. Which parts of your identity are you holding on to simply because you once needed them to survive? That reflection is waiting for you in the next Clarity Quest video.